What's something you consider a red flag that others might consider a green flag? Talking like a TikTok psychotherapist. Every single situation or interaction is about trauma and healing and setting boundaries, and weirdly medicalize being aware of your mental and emotional health is defiantly good. But when every moment or feeling is pathologized, it definitely crosses into red flag territory. Being very hard-working and career-oriented. They tend to be distant once the early fun days are over and will pick work life most of the time. I'd rather have fun-loving partner and live less high on the hog. Have a partner who spend 80% of their free time working or talking about work-related things. Like work's over now, it's time to fuck around and talk about fun stuff. I'm always skeptical when people say they're empath. My belief is that truly empathetic individuals don't focus on their own perceived empathy. To use kind of tasteless metaphor, it's kind of how rich people don't talk about money much. So my gut reaction is to feel like I'm going converse with someone who has a rush to judgment, or maybe even someone who's more self-interested but wants to feel justified in it. I really don't understand why people think it's healthy to have a staunch, even angry, opposition to talking about past relationships. What I find even more befuddling is therapists who insist past relationships should ideally not be discussed, or very little. To me, it shows where you come from, what you learned, how relationships shaped you and taught you who you are. As a meme put it, she's not trauma dumping, she's explaining the law, jealousy. Some people apparently think it's cute, or that it shows that they really love me. Nah, get out here with that shit. Talking about how much money they have, or many nice and expensive things they have. We all like money. How nice for you that you have plenty of money. If you gotta talk about it all the time, it's probably the best thing about you. Which speaky volumens. A guy who'll get in someone's face if they insult me and will defend my honor. No thanks. I've seen some people who seem to think it's romantic, even if the guy is literally starting fights, but all I see is a nasty temper I want nothing to do with. You can stand up for someone, while also knowing what battles are worth fighting.
Being religious. I'm not hardcore anti-religion by any means. I just prefer my GF to also not be religious. Being overly passive. If I have to come up with all ideas and activities and you have nothing to offer, why would I want to spend time with you? But who on earth considers that a green flag, I can only see the red flag aspect, people who like the attitude wouldn't describe it as overly passive. They would probably describe it as easygoing, agreeable, likes all the same stuff as me, to varying degrees. Some people want a passenger, others want a co-pilot. Lying to someone to supposedly protect their feelings. This is not a positive trait. They are dishonest, regardless of the reason. A lot of the time people love it when they meet someone who seems super helpful and generous for me. It puts me on the lookout for someone who has trouble with boundaries or who has low self-esteem. Crystals, energy, religious astrology, but only if it's like a core personality trait and not just a it's fun to believe type thing. Calls more than 2-3 people narcissist. Places fault on other people for everything negative in their life. When their friends shit-talk men often, I have a shit ton of crystals, one of my favorite things to collect. Although not because I think they have any sort of magical powers, I just think they're neat and am really into geology lol. They're rocks, Hank.